So it's time to put my chickens in my brooder, and I'm still in my jammies. I'm getting ready to do this right now before I go to my chicken meetup at 10 o'clock at my friend Cindy's house. I want to show you guys my brooder setup, and if you want to see how to make your own, very cheap, very easy. My husband does a fun video of it. If you'll look right there, we'll link you to how to make this for yourself. And he has a lot of fun with that. He has a sip of wine between every step of the way. So anyway, I've had this set up since last night. I've got thermometers in there to verify that the temperature, it should be 95 degrees. It's actually 98.7 right now, which is fine. There's a very concentrated area of heat under the lamp, but they have cooler temperatures in other parts of the brooder, so if they need to cool off, they can go to a different place. I've got my water set up with electrolytes. That's very important for chicks to strengthen them and to keep them healthy. Without the proper nutrients, they will be weak and may not make it. I've got my non-medicated chick feed. Now, some people believe in the medicated, some people don't. And as an old friend said to me a long time ago, it's like your underwear. It's up to you. And you just decide which one is best for you. I choose the non-medicated, and now I have added something that's much like Rooster Booster, but I make my own, and I'm actually going to make a video of that in the future of how to make your own superfood green powder for your own personal health. You can take it 3-4 times a day as your vitamin supplement, and that's all you need is directly from food sources. And you can give it to your chickens too. They need the same nutrients. It's all plant-based and very, very healthy for them. And I was looking at the nutritional information on Rooster Booster and saw that my greens powder, and I've calculated all of the nutritional value of it, is it's better. It's a lot better. So anyway, I've added a sprinkle of that on top and put my bedding in, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So we've kept the brooder inside the house because it's a little bit chilly outside, and we have our heat lamp clipped to the stairs on one of the spindles there, and we've watched it overnight, and it's got it at the right height to get us, and at this point we're at 96.6. I've got some 2 different thermometers here, 2 different temperature readings. This one says 85. You can see the radical difference just in that space. And so the chicks will gather right here to get warm. But then here, I love this feeder because they can't scratch their food out but so much. And that I have it just off the wall a bit so they can get on it at both sides and on each end. And you can see I've got my greens powder sprinkled on top for them. And then here we've got a little waterer. And I've got my electrolytes in there, and you'll notice I have rocks in there. If you do not put rocks in there for your newborns, they will drown. They will drown, and you do not want to find a dead baby in there in the morning. I can't tell you how bad that makes you feel, and it will happen. So put your rocks in there, get you some electrolytes in the water, get a nice bedding. I love hemp, but here I've got wood shavings. One day I'll be using hemp completely when I'm out of this stuff. And then there you go. And I'm obviously going to take these thermometers out because chicks are very messy. You're going to have to keep your food clean. You're going to have to clean out that water daily, maybe sometimes multiple times. And I've got a plate underneath that turned upside down to kind of elevate it a bit because they're going to just scratch and peck and just dirty up that water, and daily you need to empty that out and keep it clean or they could get sick. All right, we're getting ready to put our chicks in the brooder. I've got a few late bloomers in here. A few are a few days behind the others because I had them in a different incubator, so I know those are going to hatch later. And I'm going to try and do this very quickly so that they don't lose a lot of temperature, humidity while I'm transferring the hatched ones. I actually had to help a couple of them out of the shell, but they've all dried off, fluffed up, and are looking very healthy and ready to go into the brooder, and I'm sure they're hungry. They've been here a couple of days. Chicks can be in the incubator a couple of days while they're waiting for their siblings to hatch, and that's fine, but it's time. They're ready to go in, they're ready to eat. So we're gonna start moving them. Hey, sugars. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Hey. they're looking so good, so healthy. They're already picking on each other like chickens will do. Some of them are barely standing up just because they're so new. Hey, darling. And there was one, I took it out of the shell, and I was holding it last night and getting it warm. I was blowing on it, trying to keep it, close this back up. Trying to get it dried off and keep it warm, and it just wasn't moving. It just wasn't. And as it warmed up and dried off a little bit in my hands, and I would rub it to try and stimulate it a little bit, and it kept breathing, and then it just perked right up, and got it all dried off and put it back in with the others, and it's doing fine now. I'm not even sure who it is because it's so healthy. So here we go, and they're looking great, and I will catch you up on what happens with the rest of these eggs that haven't hatched yet, and let you know what my final hatch rate was when we're all said and done with this series on the Farm Innovators 4250. Here they are. They're finding their food. Some of them are hungry. Aren't they so sweet? Now, some people look down on a barnyard mix, but I love the diversity. I love having a rainbow of chickens, and I'm not into pure breeds. I really like having different kinds, and makes me wonder if the genetic diversity just isn't good for their overall health. And just so you know, the other eggs that I have back in the incubator that are a little bit slower to hatch, I think maybe they were in the cooler part of the incubator, which just means they're going to take a couple more days. And as I was putting the incubator back into place, I could hear tweeting from the shell. So they're fine, and they're going to hatch a little bit later. But these guys needed to come out, and they're in here, and they're doing awesome. Y'all won't see this anywhere else, but we've just figured out a fun way to teach the babies where the water is. You don't really need to do this, but it has gotten them over there. They love, here's our laser thermometer. Once we take this thermometer out over here, because they're gonna mess it up if I do, you can take, I use this thing all the time for cooking and for checking the shell temperature and making sure my brooder's warm enough. You can take a surface temperature with this laser thermometer, but the chicks love it. They chase that little light around, they play with it. And one thing that you can do is laser over the water, and you'll show them where the water is. Only at Pickin' and Grinnin', y'all. Oh, goodness. They're so stinking cute. Get it.
This is so hilarious.
Я рисую день, ты рисуешь ночь. Я иду к тебе, ты уходишь прочь. Просто посмотри мне в мои глаза. Видишь, как сильно я люблю тебя. Люблю тебя, любимая моя. В небе над землей свет моих зорниц.